We are often asked the question, what if my loved one has reincarnated before I join them in the next life? Reincarnation is misunderstood. It doesn't mean some individual keeps coming back to Earth School to learn lessons. All your loved ones will be there to greet you when you make your transition, and they're available to communicate with you now. They have not and will not reincarnate. I'll explain why we know that's true. Everything I write or speak about is based on communication from people living in the life after this life. Nothing comes from a religion or some guru. These people living in the afterlife have corrected our understanding of reincarnation. We're told repeatedly by sources in the next life that the individual we are retains our individuality when we graduate from Earth to the next life. There we continue to grow in wisdom, love, and compassion. Here's what the people communicating from the next life tell us about reincarnation. Our souls and guides plan our life before we're even a gleam in our parents' eyes. We're part of a soul group that is our higher self. Our higher self has thousands of souls making up the group. In the pre-birth planning, our souls and guides may plan a life in which we learn something some other person in our higher self soul group didn't fully learn in their previous life. Or our lives may be planned to counter some actions in that other person's life during our life. Or the planners of our life may have wanted our life to continue something of the life of another person. Then we are born into Earth School as our unique self, but our lives are intertwined with those of the other lives on which our life is based. We have fragments of those other lives in our lives, or may have our entire life based on a framework from another person's life. Here's what a man named Frederick Myers, speaking from the afterlife, said about how our lives were planned. He said, "When I was on Earth, I belonged to a group soul, but its branches and the spirit, which might be compared to the roots, were in the invisible. A soul belonging to the group of which I'm a part lived that previous life which built up for me the framework of my earthly life, lived it before I passed through the gates of birth. The group soul might contain 20 souls, 100, or 1,000. The number varies. What the Buddhists would call the karma I had brought with me from a previous life is not that of my life, but of the life of a soul that preceded me by many years on earth and left me the pattern which made my life. I too wove a pattern for another of my group during my earthly career. I shall not live again on earth, but a new soul, one who will join our group, will shortly enter into the pattern or karma I have woven for him on earth." This intimate relationship between a person and other individuals in the group soul is where past life accounts come from. Someone in this life is seeing parts of another life in the higher self soul group that is intertwined with the person. In one real example, a boy kept remembering details about World War II planes and being shot down. His life had been planned with a framework of another individual who was a World War II pilot. The boy wasn't a rebirth of that pilot. His life was intertwined with the pilot's life from pre-rebirth planning that borrowed a framework from the pilot's life for the boy. Rob Schwartz, in his book, Your Soul's Plan, describes a woman named Doris who communicated through a medium about individuals who are intertwined. She said all these individuals whose lives are intertwined are living in an oversoul, what I'm calling the higher self. She said, "We are an oversoul. We encompass all personalities. The personalities do not die. They are part of the great chorus. We leaf through them together with our guides as we plan a life, as a painting in 3 dimensions, a collage." Doris's oversoul refers to Doris as a soul fragment, meaning she is a fragment of the larger oversoul. During pre-birth planning, Doris's planning group leafed through the various individuals who are part of the oversoul or higher self to decide whether to learn new lessons based on previous learning or bring previous learning into the new Earth School experience. What we can say with certainty is that you will continue to live your individual life and grow in love, wisdom, and compassion as you enjoy the next everlasting periods of your next stages of life. And your loved ones who have preceded you to the next life will be there to greet you joyfully when you make your transition. They wouldn't miss that for anything.